All right. Hi, everyone. As mentioned, I'm Misha Zarbafian. I'm from fellowship at Cosmetic Laser Dermatology. Thank you all for attending our talk today. So this study was funded by a research grant from Biofrontera. So actinic keratoses are an extremely common problem that we all face in our practices. They're considered precursors to squamous cell carcinoma. And one treatment that is growing in popularity is photodynamic therapy, with the added advantage that patients can essentially have the entire treatment performed in the office. A very brief description is that we apply a photosensitizer and have it activated by a form of light. Two common examples are amylase, which is 10% aminolevulinic acid, or ALA gel, activated by red light, as well as Levulon, which is 20% ALA solution activated by blue light. And what we conducted was the first study to directly compare these two regimens for the treatment of actinic keratoses on the upper extremities, from the elbow to the fingertip. So in this prospective split-armed randomized trial, we treated adult patients with 4 to 17 AKs per arm, with the number staying between 50%. We selected 4 AKs of mild to moderate severity. And you can see a brief description of the methods there, but the key feature being the 3-hour incubation, which is in line with the FDA recommendations. Patients presented on what we call day 0 for their first treatment and returned for a 60-day follow-up. If there were any AKs remaining, they had a second treatment with another follow-up 60 days later. And regardless of whether they received 1 treatment or 2, they returned for follow-up at 6 months and 12 months after their last treatment. Our main endpoint was lesion complete clearance rate, but additional endpoints included on the investigator side a review of adverse events, as well as a survey about ease of product use, ease of product application. And on the subject side, we looked at satisfaction and pain, and we did photography as well. We're still in ongoing enrollment. 4 subjects have completed the study, but an additional 18 subjects have just 1 visit remaining. So looking at lesion complete clearance rate at day 120, that's where we have a significant difference between the groups. On the amylase treated arms, clearance was 85.9%. On the Levulon side, 70.2%. Of note, 4 subjects also had complete clearance on the amylase side with just 1 treatment, whereas this didn't happen for anyone to this point for the Levulon arm. No significant difference between groups at the other time points. Anyone who's tried to photograph actinic keratoses can know how challenging it can be. So rather than bore you with slides and slides, I put them all together. Hopefully you can see from the green markings that a lot of our subjects did have very significant improvement with both regimens. When we counted the number of specific residual AKs, we saw a similar trend. At day 120, there was a significant difference between the groups. This wasn't present at other time points. Essentially the same trend, with amylase performing better at day 120. Adverse events were limited to mild to moderate reactions in general. They were rated on a 5-point scale, ranging from none to severe. Erythema and edema were really the only adverse events that we saw in this trial. No serious adverse events were reported. There was a trend towards amylase having a more robust adverse event profile in general, but still very reasonable. Investigators were asked whether they preferred the gel or stick formulation for application. Both products did very well, but investigators did significantly prefer the gel formulation. Investigators were also asked from start to finish how they felt like the entire PDT regimen was easy to perform, and as you can see, both regimens did extremely well. Pain on the visual analog scale. Pain is a major factor with PDT in general. It was about a 5 for the first treatment in both groups and about a 3 for the second treatment. So this is something that, of course, we're consistently trying to improve, but given the benefit they have, most patients, as you can see on the next slide, are still extremely satisfied. Here, a lower value correlates with a higher satisfaction, and satisfaction in both groups range from satisfied to extremely satisfied on our scale. So what can we conclude? This was the first study to directly compare these 2 PDT regimens for actinic keratoses on the upper extremities. At day 120, we saw significantly better results with amylase, but we are still in ongoing enrollment, still collecting data at other time points. There was a similar adverse event profile, slightly more robust with amylase. Whether that correlates with the increased efficacy that we've observed, we still need more studies to make that conclusion for sure. satisfaction very high in both groups, pain relatively manageable, and we are, the study, as with many studies, is limited by small sample size, and we're still in ongoing enrollment. Thank you to my entire team, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here today.